baby beard.
Waited for you, Fry.
This episode traumatized me as a young person.
My head is hurting again.
Where's my firstborn son?
God does not care about me masturbating.
Your singing is bad and you should feel bad. First get out into bus, you're like, oh no!
Yeah, I don't like myself becoming the protagonist of this podcast.
You've been in
Yeah, because
the
you haven't
one-
learned anything.
Ho, ho, ho! Shut up and take my podcast!
Oh, it's a Christmas miracle.
It's Christmas time.
Is the Christmas episode
Is it?
of Shut Up and Take My Podcast, the Christmassy Futurama podcast that pits Christmassy episode against non-Christmassy episode in a bloody, glorious, jolly gauntlet battle for your entertainment, whether you've been naughty or nice. I am joined here by Miss Ellen.
Well, I feel cleansed like an iguana through the system.
Joined here by Sexy Chris.
Thanks to denial, I'm immortal.
And we're joined here by Sean.
Gosh, I love me a Hollywood Squares reference.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I was
didn't
like,
know.
that's not quite in date. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It dates really fast, Hollywood Squares,
Right?
because it's based on the premise of like who's popular now, sort of B-list celebrity,
That
right?
would be a good game to bring back, actually, with the like Me Too movement and everyone ditching all the like problematic men. You'd be like, who do we hate now? Or like, who's
yeah.
popular anymore?
Yeah.
And someone brings up like Kevin Spacey, and it's like, no.
maybe you could do it where maybe you could do Hollywood Squares except it's Twitter.
Oh,
Ooh.
that
So-
would be deeply problematic.
Yeah,
and
right.
flawed.
But like everyone plays all the Hollywood celebrities play the game on Twitter, so you don't have to get them in the same room.
And also, you have to build that ridiculously tall set.
Kind of diminishing the point of the
The noughts and crosses game.
Also, this is not.
Futurama, right? Yeah.
This is not a Christmas-themed episode.
No,
I
not
don't know
at
why
all.
you're
No.
trying to shoehorn Christmas
Well,
into
because
it.
this comes out on Christmas Eve.
It's true.
So this is our Christmas episode.
Didn't we release our first episode like 4 days out of Christmas?
Well, this is actually closest to our 2-year anniversary.
yeah, 2
Oh.
years since releasing episodes.
Since releasing episodes. We've been
Well.
recording for well before that.
That's
but,
right.
We weren't any good, so we didn't release it.
Yeah.
But now we're good.
Now we're better.
Now we're just
Yeah.
like bundled up under all your Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And you can unwrap us.
We're the gift that keeps on giving.
So don't be disappointed. And
I don't know if that was supposed to be funny.
I
It was
don't
just a
know.
statement of fact.
The image of us under someone's tree
Like gagged and bound,
just made me laugh.
just struggling, try to get our tinsel out of our mouths.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is the season of giving. It's the season of Christmas. Coincidentally, we are up to season 6, episode 6, Lethal Inspection.
Is there another 6 in this number? Mm-hmm. It's dangerously close to being satanic. My Christmas episode.
Lethal has 6 letters in it.
Boom.
Wow.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's
Same
not a
as
That's what the
episode.
Bible was talking about.
it's not a reference to anything I can think of.
666.
Lethal inspection.
Inspection.
I've got no idea.
Nah.
I don't know.
No. Doesn't
Nah.
rhyme with anything. Doesn't. No.
I don't know, because
so
Mel Gibson is cancelled.
it's just an it's an original.
It's an original
invention by the writers.
And the buddy cop kind of narrative. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't see that riffing on anything. That seems like an original idea as well.
good on you guys.
There's a
Yeah.
black man.
And a Mexican
silver
character.
man.
And a Mexican robot.
Robot.
Oh, yeah.
Robot.
He's a Mexican robot. Is robot a race?
It is.
I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who wrote this,
Yes,
Sean?
speaking of the writers.
Well, to keep in my format, I'm going to go to the director first.
Sure.
'cause
Yeah,
that's-
no, that...
so who directed this, Sean?
I'm going to direct you to the top of my notes here, where the director is Ray, either Claffey or Clayfy.
Can I have a look at the name?
You can.
Are we going to do this every
There.
episode now?
I would
Yeah.
say that's Claffy.
Yeah,
Can
let's
I
go
have a
with
look
Claffy.
now as well?
Claffy. Am I pointing it?
CLAFFEY.
It's got
Yeah.
2 F's, so it wouldn't be Clayfy.
No,
It'd be
that's
Claffy.
right. Claffy.
Okay.
So this is Mr. Claffey's debut episode. He has never once appeared before. He will appear again. However, this man has been promoted. Because in the original run, he was an assistant director for many episodes, the first of which appears to be Mars University from season 1.
Ah, that's not a bad episode.
That's pretty, yeah.
So the guy's been around. He's been
really
chugging
happy.
along. chugging
Congrats,
along.
Claffy. You did
Yay.
it. You've grabbed a brass ring.
So let's
Please-
see if you hold on to it.
Please write into us if we have your name wrong.
Yeah,
as well.
no, do tell us and we'll apologize.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
We won't correct it, but...
The writer for this episode is Eric Horsted, tried and true director who last entered himself into Bender's Game Part 1 and 2.
A director or writer?
He-
Did he write that?
Writer,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Did
100%
he gallop
writer.
in?
Horsted. Hey. Horsted or Horsehead?
What?
Horsehead or Horsted?
You
Horsted.
said about 5 different things then.
Which one is right?
It's Horsted.
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 Okay.
Horsted.
Cool.
Horsted.
Cool.
Horsted.
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 Horse. Ted.
Mr. Horsted has also some writing credits for some of the songs that are in Futurama, including one of my favorite songs.
What song?
My Broken Friend.
My broken friend.
I'm telling you, my broken friend.
Ah.
It's a Beck song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so memorable, I remember the lyrics.
Yeah, you've got them down, don't you?
I'm also about 4 drinks in.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
This
yeah.
is another drunk cast of Shut Up and Take My Podcast.
We are merry this Christmas season.
Very
That's
merry.
right. Our cheeks are very red.
No
That's right.
eggnog, though. We've got time.
It's because we live in Australia, and that's absurd.
That shit curdles.
You-
Alright?
look,
You can't leave that out.
That's a Christmas spirit. Curdled drinks
a
down your
Christmas
gullet.
spirit. Gin.
Hey.
So the
Rum.
ed date for this episode was July 22nd, 2010, which coincidentally was 14 days after my 19th birthday.
And how is little 19-year-old Sean tracking?
Yeah, what was happening in your
Had you hit
life
puberty
at
yet?
19?
Well, let's see. No, not yet. Not at that point. That happened around 25.
Right.
Okay.
So
Alright, late
When we
bloomer.
released the episodes. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I remember that
Aw.
happening.
It
You
was
were
a
like,
good
what
time
is
for
this
me.
hair?
Full circle.
What's happening with my body?
Sean
Guys,
went
have a look
blind.
at this, please. What is this spot?
And
it normal?
I said it's a reaction to Futurama.
Oh.
The male body matures and grows.
And then I said, why didn't it ever show up when I was 10 and I was first watching Futurama? And you said...
And I said, if you ask questions like that, I'm going to hit you.
You go
again.
straight to prison.
Straight-
Or Chris goes straight
I
to
go
prison.
straight to prison.
And that got me really turned on, and then
That's
dropped
right.
the subject.
That's right.
Yeah. Other
I'm
than that,
glad that I wasn't alive
No.
for this.
you weren't alive.
You weren't born yet.
Nah.
Ellen is.
I was
Ellen's
only-
10 years old.
Ellen is
am.
a fetus.
I'm a precocious little
Scamp.
scamp.
Introducing no one really of relevance that's going to crop up that hasn't already cropped up. It's a brand new slate, a clean slate.
The shooting robots.
No, we've seen them before.
Oh, we have too.
Haven't we? Because they turn to say, what? And as they turn, they shoot each
They
other.
shoot each
Which
other.
kind of reminded me of the near Death Star
Yeah.
robots from the episode. They
Okay.
kind of do the same.
Yeah.
They're
thing.
probably like...
And also from Bender's Game, actually.
It's in there's a movie
Yeah.
that has
Bender's
it in
Game.
it. No, a different movie entirely.
Oh.
What do you call it?
Bender's Game.
The one
Ender's
re-
Game.
Fuck.
not
Video game.
Futurama related?
Idiocracy.
With Luke,
Oh.
with the
Idiocracy.
Wilson brother, that's not Owen Wilson.
No, maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Aren't
He's
there 3?
There's one of them's not related.
One of them is in Whip It.
oh,
He is the coach, Razor.
I liked Whip
and
It.
they say, nice jean shorts. And he goes, every day.
That's right. It's a good movie.
It is a great movie.
But in Idiocracy, he tries
It's
to
Luke Wilson.
he tries to escape prison by he walks out basically. He's like, I'm supposed to be in the other line, which is the line for leaving prison, not the line
Brilliant.
entering prison.
And that shit flies.
And
for
that
some
shit
reckon
flies
that
because
works
it's
now?
idiocy. Yeah, probably in
Well,
Trump's America.
Who's the very famous prisoner? There was a movie made about him.
Wesley Snipes.
No, John Dillinger.
DiMaggio. He's a
Goodman.
voice actor
Is that
in this
the one?
show.
Yeah.
Probably.
I know
You
John
know-
DiMaggio.
You know more about crimes
Okay,
and murders
he's
than we
like
do.
he's like an old timey American gangster.
John
and
Bennett.
he and he escaped from prison. He carved a block of soap into the shape of a gun, and he basically bluffed his way out.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
True. That's true. And they made a movie about him, starring Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, the little
The
known
Swedish-
little known cousin,
Swedish.
The uncancelled version
That's
of
right.
Johnny
Steven
Depp.
Spielberg.
And yet they didn't include that because I think they thought it was a bit too ridiculous to include in a movie.
Oh, I think I like that. I like the idea of him using ridiculous tactics to
Yeah.
escape from prison. What's this episode about, Sean?
So, guys, we
yeah.
are peeling back the onion that is this behind the scenes of the episode where we forgot that Phil's not on this episode, and Phil usually runs down the plot, which we forgot to do.
Whoops.
So,
I can do it real quick.
Yep.
It won't. It'll be succinct and
Yep.
not very detailed.
yep.
Go
It's
for it.
the Futurama crew playing reenactments. The Sith War, Civil War. The
Sithal War.
Sithal War. Bender finds out that he is breakable and doesn't back up into the cloud or whatever.
Mortal
And
Bender.
He's mortal.
He's a mortal
He
coil.
then goes on a journey to find the man who approved his body and his defective mortal body backup system. And that leads them to Tijuana, Mexico. He goes with Hermes. And together they realize that, they couldn't find him, but they became friends, and Bender learnt to embrace mortality. And then in a secret end of the episode, spoilers, oh my goodness, it's so exciting. It turns out that Hermes was the bureaucrat who approved his defective body in the first place.
Oh my god!
He just couldn't bear to see little Bubby Bender chucked in the bin.
He couldn't see.
Oh.
He couldn't. He's drinking on a little beer. And also, Leela is struggling with the bureaucracy at
work.
Yeah. She just doesn't know how to use the incinerator.
She appears twice in the episode doing that.
As do most of them.
Yeah.
It's a very. First of all, I will stop myself saying very and say
verily.
Say it one more time, please.
It's a very
there we go.
Merry Christmas to you all, and also what do we all think of Lethal Inspection?
I know that we've talked before about what do different pairings mean in the Futurama universe, and what do we think are good pairings, and what pairings do we think won't work. I love Hermes and Bender. It does seem that Hermes bears the brunt of Bender, and he's not so much reacting to what Bender is doing. He's kind of like almost not reacting to
his own mission.
All the shit that Bender says. But when you reveal the end that he has been kind of almost Bender's keeper, that it does kind of add value to that previous bit where, he's just kind of carrying this burden and not firing back at Bender and going like, shut up, because he cares about Bender.
It explains why Bender's been able to get away with as much as he has in the workplace, because Hermes got to run a tight ship.
Hermes lets it slide,
and Bender's he's a bit of a disruptor to that.
Yeah,
to put it loosely.
There's a very exciting element in this episode.
Exciting.
What is that element?
Well, poodles are no longer extinct.
Oh yeah.
When they're walking,
in
the
old
old what's her name? The old woman.
Yeah, the one who would in The Simpsons
McDougal.
McDougal. She is walking through the Sithel reenactment, and she's walking a poodle. And I think that's just so hilarious, like, and very, like, just mundane to have people doing a war reenactment and then just have to pause and wait for someone to walk past.
As someone who's LARPed.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. How similar is this to LARPing? Sexy Chris, for those of you who don't know, is a bit of a legend in the Adelaide LARPing community.
In the Australian LARPing community.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't talk him up enough.
I ran
the Australian.
I ran the national game for a while.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a lead storyteller for a genre.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I ran a game that had about 150 players.
How do you deal with, like, environment in that? Do you have to go out and scout an area and be
So ours was a little bit different. So ours was mainly Mind's Eye theatre, which is not boffer. So boffer is where you, as it sounds, like you boff people with a rubbery thing, and
biff,
you go biff, boff, biff, pow, and the plosives would have just exploded on the recording.
Look, you're the one editing.
That's right. So ours is more about horror and personal horror and character development.
Oh wow!
And kind of social politicking. Was the game I ran, and that's been running for about 20 years now, maybe more. What are we, 2018? Since 2000, since 1999, I would say.
You've been running that?
It's not the same game. It's had different iterations, but it's effectively the same game.
Are you still running it?
No, thank God.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
But I ran it for a while, and I ran a LARP of about 50 people here in Adelaide at the Queen's Theatre. We booked it out.
Sick. I had no idea about this.
Yeah. So LARPing, like the one that they do in this episode, is pretty on point. Like they'll go to a public area. In Australia, it's actually a lot easier because we have vast lands where people can just hang out.
Sunburnt land.
Sunburnt land. Watch out for dingoes.
Yeah, that's right. So basically,
sharks.
I had a friend of mine who was like, "Yeah, we just have a game. We've got a field, a couple of acres."
Yeah.
Couple of hectares or whatever, and it's just
don't LARP in the sea.
Yeah, don't LARP in the sea.
Here's my question: if you die, do you just have to lay there until the game is over?
No.
Okay, so they got that wrong.
Most people don't die, but also I've never done a Civil War reenactment.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that actually it might be because they're all about costumes and like the seriousness of like the actual the war and like.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit cathartic for Americans to kind of get it out of their system. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe.
Think about the actual ramifications of these war as opposed to glorifying them and.
Yeah. Well, Australians haven't really had something like that, have we?
I don't know. We glorify Anzac Day, but in a
we
very
don't
different
reenact
way.
it though.
No. Well, because it would just be
Us
a bunch of idiot
crying
young men
on a beach.
going, oh yeah, we'll be home before Christmas, and then just like running into gunfire.
I went to Gallipoli recently. Well, not
you?
recently, in 2008, so 10 years ago.
That's very recent.
Yeah, it's super recent.
A decade.
That's right.
It is recent.
That is not as much recent as my 19th birthday.
It
That's
is
right.
a recent for a tortoise.
That's
I
right.
think.
It's really quite confronting. Like the ages for these kids are like 14 and 15.
Yep.
That went to Gallipoli. It's horrible.
Yep.
War sucks.
It does.
It does.
That's my hot take on this episode. War
Meanwhile,
sucks.
we have an Anzac Day football game.
Yeah.
Buy our shit.
What is it? Collingwood versus Essendon.
I don't know. No one will know these words
Why have I
in
written...
the podcast.
Oh, I wrote Good War because that was one of my
Good war.
Good War.
Oh,
Good
that's
war.
right. Then
Good War.
at the end of the game, good game.
that's
Good
right.
game. Good game.
Good game.
Did you ever...
Soccer.
About to say so condescending. I'm like, did you ever play sport, Chris?
Did I ever play? My body does not look it. But yeah, I did. I used to play soccer and hockey.
You didn't ask
So
me
for those, well,
What about you, Ellen? Did you ever play
you were
sport?
a derby.
Yes.
More
We
than
do-
that, you did other things, right?
I did
You
water
come-
polo all throughout
Soccer?
high school. I didn't do soccer. I did netball. That was my primary sport.
But you're Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
I'm
did.
also-
She did
I'm
spaghetti
also
eating.
a girl.
Oh yeah,
Can't play soccer without a penis.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh.
It's really required for balance.
Also, like Italians, they did
That's how
their
you hit the ball, right?
That's right.
It's like T-ball.
With your big wang, trying to whack this ball.
Someone said I had very big dick energy last night, and I felt the most blessed. They were like, "Yeah, Ellen, you just have a massive schlong."
Good lord. What about you, Sean? Did you play sport?
Did you
I
play
did.
sport?
I played lots
I
of
was going to
sport.
say, did you have big dick energy
Yeah, I
last
did.
night?
I just had big dick and energy.
Nice.
Um,
Must be nice.
yeah,
It is. It's good fun.
it's a blessing and a curse.
Good
I-
game. Good game.
Good game.
I
Good
did-
game.
I
Good
did-
war. Good war.
I did lots of sports, none of which I've played for longer than a single season.
Yeah.
Basketball.
You played American football.
I played American football,
What?
basketball, wrestling, soccer, baseball, all of which I played for one season and just never went back.
Is that why your body's so fucked now?
That's very much so. Gridiron I played for half a season with both a concussion and a slip disc.
Gridiron. the universe's question of how do we compact a man's head into his spine?
I can tell you quite easily.
This
Give
is
him
the
a
way.
false sense of security by putting a helmet on his head. Charge
That
him
only
at the
makes
other
it
helmeted men.
worse.
That's right.
Not like those, those Gridiron people are pussies.
Well, that's
'Cause in
like-
Aussie rules, you don't need a helmet.
Well, that's
or,
like-
To be fair,
Um,
Aussie rules is way safer.
That's like
but also, they go through a lot of damage as well.
Yeah,
it's true.
torn
It's true.
ligaments, torn
But it's like
ligaments, yeah.
boxing. How adding boxing gloves
Makes it
actually
more
makes
dangerous.
it a lethal support.
Yes.
Because before, if you're doing bare knuckle boxing, you punch, and then more likely than not, your hand is going to break.
Yeah.
So you're not going to punch that hard. Whereas if your hand is nicely protected and cushioned, you're going to punch as fucking
You're gonna-
hard as you can. You're going to punch. You're going to rock 'em, sock 'em
You're
that
gonna-
head right off.
You're going to do what my dad would say and punch on.
Oh.
That was what he told me to do every day.
Punch on, punch
Punch
off.
on. It's a very violent metaphor.
It is for
Yeah.
just like. Isn't
life
it just,
in general,
Isn't it just
yeah.
kind of like go about your day?
No, it's like succeed in life. Go chase dreams. Punch on.
So how does one
It's a very
punch off?
you
violent.
don't.
Oh.
You cry.
I wanna
because that's
learn
what
to
men
punch
do
off.
when they're
You
ashamed.
punch yourself in the face.
Punch
until
off
you-
is something that a man does when he hits puberty, Sean. Which I know has only been like 10 years since you've.
I
No,
was-
it's been 3 years.
Two or 3 years since you've discovered.
I was going to
that.
say punch off is what Edward Norton does in Fight Club
Oh yeah.
when he's trying to get his boss to give him all that money. He just punches himself in the face repeatedly.
Oh yeah. That's a
So
good
my
moment.
point in all
Thank you.
this was
Yeah.
that,
What the fuck are we talking about?
that good war is
Good
that
war, good
the
war,
old,
good
for
war.
those of you that have done sport. The idea of getting in a line and just good game, good game, good game, good game, good game. Even if you fucking hate the people.
Did you try and perfect like a really snarky way of saying it? Like good game.
No.
Yeah,
Did you?
I just went good game
Oh my god.
right in their face.
I wonder if that peaked. I don't know. What did you practice a way of snarkily
No,
saying?
but I
good
did
game?
have someone in my. I think it was my netball team. I don't know. We also had some roller derby teams who were not like, we were pretty friendly, but a lot of the teams didn't like our team in particular because they thought we were
elitist.
Yeah, or something. Because we ran a Mother's Day, not marathon, just 5K. And we were like, well, why don't we do this as a team to keep fit? And we'll raise some money as well for breast cancer.
That's a good
right?
idea.
It's all female sport. Very pertinent. The rest of the league thought we were fucking up ourselves. They were like, oh, why are you doing that? Oh, and we're like, okay, I didn't realize raising money for breast cancer was bad. But
They do the good game thing in esports as well.
Good game.
Really?
Good game. Yeah. It's how you tap out of a game if you're playing StarCraft. GG.
So while everyone else is still playing, you have to go over to them in high five.
No. You type GG into the all chat. If you're playing StarCraft,
and everyone else responds.
Everyone else goes GG, and it's assumed that if you've called GG, it means that you're out of the game. Dota 2, the competitive game that had an $8 million prize pool recently, I think. Or the professionals, like the professional game of it. So like there's the amateur game and the professional game, sort of. If you type GG into the professional game, it gives you a countdown of like 10 seconds to quit the game. Like it's saying you're quitting, you're resigning.
Quitting. Should we do that when we die?
Yes.
Like our last words?
I recommend hiring a skywriter and putting GG up into the sky.
Like my grandkids are there and I'm like, lean in, let me tell you something.
GG. GG.
How do you, like, to really confuse someone if you just go GGG? Like, what's the extra G for?
Good game,
it's
guys.
Like BYOBBB.
Yeah, the extra B is for BYOBB.
What's that B for? It's a typo.
It's a typo.
Good
no,
game.
that's the A triple plus.
Ah.
Yeah, you really deserve the extra plus, but there's 2 pluses about Shambui.
That's Shambui.
So, do we hate this episode because we're not on topic?
Oh, sorry. No.
No,
I think we love it. That's why we're just drifting
Yeah.
away. If we hated it, we would be very on track
That's
to
true.
say how much we hate it.
And I am a
think
nasty
we're-
pasty,
I think
so
we're
I would
all-
be hating it.
I think we're obviously trying to avoid talking about death.
I think we're trying to avoid talking about the spoiler. Because the spoiler...
It's
like,
pretty big.
Oh, if guys, if you haven't listened to this podcast before, we will spoil the episode for you. So, like,
We already
Bender
did
dies
it.
at the end of this episode. So if you
Bender
haven't watched
dies.
it,
He doesn't come back. It's the end.
No more
Hermes
Bender.
is the
Inspector 5.
Inspector 5.
Which is a pretty obvious reveal. At least it was for
yeah,
me.
you noticed it pretty early.
I realized I knew it because, and I talked to you about it. I think I learned this song for ukulele.
When you say you mean me, Chris.
Oh,
Just we
you
gotta-
I think
yeah,
I
we
said
gotta-
this to both of you.
Oh,
I was
right,
like,
right.
I knew this ending.
Yeah.
I had never seen the episode, but I knew the ending because I'd seen a clip of it on YouTube because I liked the song that plays in the very end, and I learned it on ukulele.
Do you have any notes, Sean, about like the rankings of this episode?
The ranking, there isn't. All I know is that David X. Cohen talked about how he believes, and I don't know where David gets his stats from. It's just coming out of his ass. But he says that he believes this episode, along with the Da Vinci Code, which was last week, to be among the favorites of fans for this season.
I've
seen a lot of things about this episode.
Same.
Like
I've seen a lot of like positive stuff about how this is the most heartbreaking episode, one of the most heartbreaking episodes.
I didn't think it was heartbreaking.
No,
I thought it was
neither
very
did I.
heartwarming.
I cried a little bit.
Yeah.
That time?
But
Yeah,
I don't
always
think it was
cry, though.
heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I've never seen you cry.
I hold it back.
You man,
Because I'm like emotionally
Deeply
repressed, right?
What other
I'm-
kinds of
I'm
repressed are you?
Sexually,
Yeah, what else?
Emotionally,
physically,
What about philosophically?
spiritually.
Yeah.
Philosophically, you're pretty sound.
Philosophically, I'm fairly up there.
Yeah,
But
up there.
yeah. But other things like
Talking about
financially,
spiritually repressed and all
that's
this
a nice way of putting it.
on all these things. Can
Yeah.
I just say it is a very good performance from John DiMaggio because a lot of the Bender's realizations that he is mortal are very sad. Like,
I think they're not given enough time, but I think
I don't think so, but it is largely a comedic show.
Yeah, for sure. You can't dwell on it too much.
And I don't know, the implication I think is sad enough that lingering on it makes it very uncomfortable because apart from, I mean, Jurassic Park is probably the first instance. The Sting, but the Sting's more about grief. Jurassic Park, I think, is more about death and what it means to, what death means to a person. I think the Sting is all about grief, if that's...
Yeah. I get that.
Do you know
I
that
get
distinction?
So what's this about then? If
This is
Jurassic
before
Park
that. This is about realizing self-mortality. This is not about grieving someone else or the death of a person close to you. This is about going, fuck, this life I live is finite.
Which is me. All over.
It's,
it's
all of us,
You have
Sean.
a thing about that. You have a thing about that, don't you, Sean?
I mean, it's like I'm not like alone on an island with this sort of thing.
No.
Like it's a real threat for Sean.
I have to say, for someone who is very, I would say, morbid, increasingly interested in learning more about death, and I wanted to be a mortician when I was younger.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Ah.
I learnt all 5 stages of decomposition, not just on Wikipedia.
4's my
that
favourite.
was fun. That was
Which one's putrefaction?
That's 3, but putrefaction has a few different stages. There's like black putrefaction, which is like when the body just goes completely black. I was going to say you've probably seen this. No.
Yes,
No,
as you mentioned it, yes, I have.
No, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad took me to
Oh.
see
okay,
decomposing
that's-
body when
that's-
I was about like 10 or 11.
How?
So my dad worked in health
Okay.
when I was growing up.
I'm glad
And-
this was work related.
Yeah.
I am
that's
too.
right.
So my dad helped me hide the body.
That's right.
But there
I had a little brother once upon a time. No,
Christoph.
and I killed him. I had a twin.
Ate your twin in the
That's
womb.
right. That's right. No, my dad used to because decomposing bodies in coffins.
Yes.
The coffin breaks down.
Yeah.
And the body, the corpse, the bile and stuff, and all the goody, grossy human bits.
Do you want to hear what it's called in the biz?
Yeah, go for
Corpse
it.
juice.
Corpse juice. Great.
Corpse juice.
Fantastic.
Oh, I could go for something.
Leaks down into the earth.
Yes.
And if there's a waterway underneath that, it
That's
contaminates
bad
the
times.
waterway.
That's
It
bad
also
times.
contaminates any food sources around there. So don't buy fruit next to a graveyard.
No. Anyone
Okay.
who is
Oh,
into
I can't go to my favourite Coles
I
now.
know.
anyone who's into history, look at why the catacombs were built, because France was just fucking. You had cemeteries right next to markets,
Yeah.
right next to like places where you buy food and waterways. It was a fucking mess. So I'm not going to sum it up well enough, but you know.
But yeah, my
look
dad
that
showed
up
me
if you're
a
interested.
dead body in a coffin.
That did
After-
that fuck you up?
Did you love it?
I am the
Or
man
did
I
it-
am today. You tell me if I'm fucked up.
You know what? I shan't.
Yeah, right.
So do you reckon Bender has just a misconstrued idea of how he was born? Because
What do you mean?
Because he's-
Well, because he believes
We've
he was
seen him come
completely
out fully formed.
and he's an adult size because
But-
he goes on the conveyor belt and then
Bender's maturation differs wildly because when they all de-age in the Fountain of Youth,
which
we
leads
see
me
him
to
go
believe
like
that
little Bubby
which
Bender.
leads me to believe that is like he was at one point that size, which means his idea of the older Bender is incorrect.
Well, maybe
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
so.
He has
your
a
first
false memory.
Well, maybe it's your first memory. No one remembers a lot of stuff between the ages of like birth and until you're about maybe 4 years old.
I don't think Bender can conceptualize himself smaller or weaker.
No, it's almost like
Like he
ego.
lacks
The
that
ego's
ability.
there.
Yeah, the ego's like, no, I was always perfect. I was great.
That's
Bender's
right.
great. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
In the same way, you can't properly like remember yourself as a baby.
No.
Well,
Like,
this is
you
the thing.
can't
I was
yeah.
always this size and with a beard.
That's right. You came out of your
I
mother like
sprang
that.
Yeah.
from Zeus, fully formed.
My
I
mum
sprang from his leg.
My mum's dead, by the way. Like
Oh, dear.
it just ruined everything.
Disclaimer: Sean's mom's fine.
No, refusal.
I do not have a dead brother. Also,
refusal.
right?
Own your death.
I think. Well, in the Fountain of Youth episode, there's Baby Bender.
Yes.
There's also like a
Disc.
CD-ROM.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think that's the more accurate version.
That's probably
And-
and we see him as we've seen him now as a small baby
small
Bender
little babs. Yeah.
more than twice, which
Yes.
is to say this is
That's-
the one
that's
that
the
that
canon.
Futurama
That's the canon one.
prefers.
Bender had braces at one point, which is
Yeah, that's
cute.
right.
Oh, little
Just super
cute.
cute.
Braces are so cute.
Yeah.
Not on adults though.
How adult?
Like 25.
And no, anyone over 35, I think, is a bit of a. It's not as cute. But
You know what? I'm not going to shame people.
sure,
Get braces
I'll
when
join-
you can.
I'll-
Not everyone can afford braces.
that's true. I'll join on that side. Yeah, if you want to get braces, get braces.
Yeah.
Babyhood Media.
Also,
Shaming you, but then also supporting you
also
afterwards.
we're talking.
Backflipping so far.
also,
Shaming, backflipping, supporting.
Also, talking about Bender's ego, that is why I think this episode is really good, because it's nice to see Bender taken down a peg and him realizing that he's like he has
You're gonna die.
he's gonna die. Like he's not immortal, is the big thing. And I think John DiMaggio does it in a really... And him, when he's punching the wall, because Hermes says,
That's the
what are
standout.
you going to do? Spend your life in like a... I can't even remember the phrase. Just like
Yeah.
a fit of anger. And he's like...
Revenge.
No... Yes, maybe. And the
don't
maybe is
know.
really weak and
Yeah,
sad. And
yeah.
it's just very good acting.
And the animation kind of helps that with him putting his head through. And it's like a defeat kind of like thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
I also want to have a look at what the world record is for longest limbo. Because it ain't going to be 12 hours.
It might be.
It could be. And I'm really excited to find out.
I don't know what the definition of limbo is.
Just always being in that
If it's
position.
vertical,
'cause-
that's fucked.
But I have
right?
to say,
Like just-
I have to say, Hermes didn't need to limbo for that. He could have just lay down.
Sorry, horizontal. I mean,
Yeah, vertical. I can do vertical limbo.
Vertical limbo.
Vertical limbo.
Did I blink when it happened? Did Bender change his legs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did.
yeah. He
He's
has a
just,
spare
like-
pair of legs in
He
his
has
body.
ass-kicking feet as well
Yeah.
that he can screw on and
Yeah,
screw
that's
off.
right.
He also has the capability to sharpen pencils with his anus.
That's right.
Or it's presumed his anus, but, it gets burned very quickly afterwards. So let's say anus.
I think we've covered all of Phil's jobs then.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've done his
wait.
bender functions and
No,
marriage
we
life.
haven't done all of them.
Oh, what's the other one?
Well, he's clearly got different pictures on his body because when the robots shoot at him and when the bullets hit him, they are they're at different pitches, so they're able to create a limbo tune that they can limbo
Oh,
to.
yeah. He needs limbo music and being
I don't
shot
know
at.
if you guys have seen this, but there's a like a soap holder in a shower. It's going
I have
viral at
seen
the
that,
moment,
yeah.
and someone's polishing it, and
It
they're
does,
doing it to the tune of Sandstorm.
Sandstorm by Darude.
We get a new Hermes outfit too.
Oh, yeah. Where
get a
he
lot
blends
of-
into the
He
wall.
just wears all brown.
I
I have
it.
a few outfits that I would like to discuss in
Fashion
my
corner.
segment. Yeah.
Fashion corner.
Are we there?
Fashion. We are there. We have arrived.
I wasn't ready. I'm not dressed.
Fashion corner.
I'm not dressed for fashion corner.
Fashion
Ellen,
corner.
cover your shame.
Okay, I will not.
Fashion corner.
All right, so I really like the Sithor reenactment wigs. I like Bender's nice shaggy. It's almost like a Luke Skywalker
It's Mark
style.
Hamill. It's a Mark Hamill.
It's a Mark Hamill wig.
wig.
I like a Sandy Brown. Nice choice. I like Zoidberg's curly brown wig.
Zoidberg's wig.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's nice.
Is
really
Scruffy
nice.
wearing a wig?
No,
No.
that's his hair.
Okay. Sorry, Scruff.
This is not a named character. It's just a character in the background as there's like a long line for the bureaucracy to get into whatever. And there is just a nameless extra, and she's wearing like a censorship dress.
Oh, yeah, the censorship,
It's like,
the nudist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
got
yeah.
like a censorship bar, and
bar.
it's
Oh, the
got a
black
black
bars.
bar across her chest and across her crotch,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the dress is just see through. And I think that's so cool.
She's just nude.
It's really
Yeah.
fucking cool.
She's just nude. She has
That's not part of the dress.
No, it's just tan lines
Cool.
underneath.
Okay.
I didn't study that image a lot as a young man.
Your pause
But-
button was broken.
That's right. But it's in the first episode of Futurama, the nudist walking around.
Okay.
I'm
I
thinking
just
of the
love
black
that
bar
outfit.
joke, which is I win.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
probably
I have a lot of mesh clothes, so I like seeing them presented in the media. Then we also have. I don't know why that was emphasized. I'm so sorry.
presented in the media,
in the media.
the mainstream media.
Whoa.
Baby be a media.
So, and we also have Hermes camouflaged to the wall.
Yeah.
A nice kind of. Well, I don't know that it's that nice. It's an olive green shirt, which is a hard color for anyone to pull off.
It's what a bureaucrat would think is cool,
Maybe.
And
yeah.
is not.
and it's not.
Yeah, and then he's got the red belt as well.
Yeah,
I
that
don't agree with
clashes.
it. I don't agree with it. Maybe a nice mustard. I'll say.
What is it with you
I
and
keep
mustard?
like
Stop pushing your
I keep
mustard
plugging
agenda.
mustard. No, this is my corner.
Do you have like shares in like the mustard industry?
I'm
mustard
trying,
company?
I'm trying to make a trend here.
Yeah.
I think that's it for Fashion Corner.
Fashion
the
Corner with Ellen.
Ellen.
Wink.
The Tijuana outfits.
Nah, I don't
the
like 'em.
Mexican hats. No, okay.
No, oh, actually, no, it's fine because Bender is Mexican. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'll allow it.
And Mom wearing with the what's that famous figure?
Frida Kahlo.
Yeah,
with
Frida
the Frida Kahlo eyebrow and the roses in her hair. Look,
Yeah.
I love Frida Kahlo. But do I love Mum? No.
Oh, yes. Also, Leela's alien language that she reads out when she's...
what did that say?
Yeah, she doesn't...
It says, need extra cash? Melt down your old, unwanted humans. We pay top dollar.
Ooh, nice.
Hey, you guys doing anything afterwards?
I'm not.
Isn't
What
that the
would you
plot
like
to
to do?
Soylent Green?
It's the plot to me getting money.
Oh, that plot never ends
movie.
well.
Ellen,
Yes.
get in the oven.
All right.
All right.
That plot doesn't
awesome.
end well.
No. Doesn't it? Oh,
I
damn
don't
it.
think so.
What do we think about this episode?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really like it. It's hard to see Hermes, I think because we've never have like a proper established relationship between Bender and Hermes, that it's suddenly a big jump for me to go, oh, Hermes was his like keeper all the time. I mean, I do like it, I think, and they use very emotional music. The way it's animated, that scene alone, it has the stirrings of a very emotional scene. I just don't think it has enough in the series to back it up. But this episode, it does spend a lot of time with just Hermes and Bender, so I'm not very mad at it. I really would have liked just a little bit more to kind of support what this episode is doing. On its own, very fine. Actually, it's the best compliment. I would have liked more.
Yeah, I do like... I get excited when they have new pairings. And so I was trying to think back whether Hermes and Bender have ever had a storyline together, whether it's an A or a B plot. I don't think they've just had a one-on-one storyline that's persisted for the length of an episode, as far as I can remember. Like, we've had a lot of Hermes-Zoidberg pairings. That generally seems to be the person... Hermes is either paired up with Farnsworth or Zoidberg, generally speaking. He doesn't usually had a lot of
the
episodes
kind of B
with...
characters.
Yeah, he doesn't really stick with the A-team much. No. So that's positive for me. Like, I enjoy seeing how that dynamic works, because, they're in a lot of ways... Well, they both also can be awful people. So it's nice to... Hermes can be an awful guy.
Well, isn't Bender, like... chaotic evil, and Hermes is I wouldn't say he's neutral evil. He's just kind of neutral.
He's lawful
evil.
neutral.
Lawful neutral, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
follows the
evil.
letter of the law regardless.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
To me, I'm comparing it to The Sting and Jurassic Park.
I don't think it lives up to those two.
No, but what I mean is so Jurassic Park introduces a new character, Seymour, to give you an emotional resonance.
That's right.
The Sting uses established relationships to give you an emotional payoff at the end, right?
Yes.
This one does neither.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't introduce a new character, and Bender and Hermes don't have any emotional...
Established relationship.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So, I like what they do with it. I think it's a really cool episode. I think it's, like I said earlier, I had little tears in my eyes, but I am a big softie. Contrary to what everyone thinks on the podcast, because I'm analytical.
We
as
actually
fuck.
call you sociopathic, Chris.
You're actually a robot.
That's because
most
I am
of
a
the time.
robot, and it's not like tears. It's just coolant springing from my eyes.
I am leaking.
I am leaking.
You man.
I would have to me the intro. I usually say this a lot, but the intro felt a little long.
The Sithal War.
Yeah,
Sithal reenactment.
because it didn't do much.
No. The only gag I liked is when they whip out the lightsabers, and then, because they're collapsible ones, one collapses
the one
right away.
kid's
Is it just there to show that Bender doesn't really care about the reenactment because he doesn't die properly, because he doesn't care about death?
And
I guess
it
it's...
does the dual thing of Hermes being the bureaucrat. So
Yes.
he's crunching the
Yeah.
numbers, right? So it's hey, you all don't remember Hermes, the bureaucrat? Well, here he is being a bureaucrat. And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
It is an interesting concept to be like, and I don't know about you guys, but I have had to die so many times as an actor. It's a very interesting thing to just be, and then this is when I die, and blah, 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 and to be reenacting a very traumatic thing, or something that a lot of us haven't come to grips with. It's an interesting kickoff point. Certainly.
I think the episode probably needs just different pacing, but I think the premise of it is really cool. But yeah, the opening maybe goes on for a little bit too long than it should have.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have the stakes feel like they could have been met better in the climax. I kind of get to the end and go, I think, like, looking at it in a vacuum, I go, oh, it's kind of sentimental. It's really sad. I felt like I could have been hit more.
Yeah.
Had we established
I think what I would have liked is Bender suffering a bit more. Like, having to... like him completely turning away from his whole hedonistic way of life, the things he enjoys, because he just cannot deal with this concept.
Yeah.
And then to have the end being like, life is short, let's get shit-faced. Like, that would have been a nice return.
Our emotional impact of Hermes doing the sacrifice relies on Bender's acknowledgement of his mortality.
Yes.
You know, if the stakes are there, then cool. But
Yeah.
I think Bender could probably have been a little more scared.
Yeah, good glimpses of it,
We got
certainly,
glimpses,
but
and they were great.
Yeah,
but more.
More.
Yes.
More, please.
Let's head on to a vote. So we got the Da Vinci Code against Lethal Inspection.
I'll go first.
You go
Yeah,
first.
you go first.
Lethal is the winner for me.
Okay.
Da Vinci Code doesn't... I wasn't on the voting panel for that one, but I watched the episode, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't... I didn't find it as entertaining, I think, as you guys did.
Okay.
And I got why you guys did, but to me, this is a little more sentimental. And it's an odd pairing, but it's a useful pairing. Because it expresses a minor character's kind of coolness.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I'll put one up on the board for the Da Vinci Code. I kind of like the exploration of Farnsworth and Fry and having that kind of almost father-son relationship, the parental advisory. I just think, once again, it's an adventure episode that I really enjoy when I get them just going on a rollicking ride together, and we're focusing on more the central four, which we haven't had in a while. I found myself laughing a lot more. And in the patented triad of things that Sean likes... whatever the
Sci-fi premise, comedies, and heart.
it doesn't have the heart as much, but it does. Those other two bump up to make it a better episode
Yeah.
for
Sure.
me. So I go for Da Vinci Code.
I was just about to refer to
Code?
your triangle of needs.
Triangle
in
of
a
Needs.
Futurama.
That's a better one. Sean's Triangle of Needs.
Sean's triangle of needs in a Futurama episode, because we were talking about episodes that we really like that have also been sentimental. Jurassic Park and The Sting, both dealing about death and grief. But those episodes are really brilliant because sometimes the sci-fi element lags, but the heart is turned up, and also the comedy is turned up. For me, between the Da Vinci Code, I feel like I'm torn between the comedy dial and
The sentimentality
and
dial.
for Lethal Inspection, the sentiment.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Da Vinci Code, it's a bit stronger.
Sure. So
yeah.
Da Vinci Code wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't feel, when I watched Da Vinci Code, I didn't feel like I was really seriously lacking something.
Sure. Cool.
Whereas
Whereas this one, you were like, something's
But
missing.
that's not bad. I liked this, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going, more please, more. Yeah.
But there was
so-
something missing
But
from it.
yeah.
Yeah. It felt less of a whole episode.
Also, where would you rate... just do another quick one.
Yeah.
Lethal Inspection versus the Da Vinci Code.
The actual film.
The actual film.
Well, which one has an award-winning actor in it?
The Da
What
Vinci Code?
award?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Any award?
Tom Hanks.
Both.
Isn't he in it?
No?
In the Da
Is
Vinci Code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But, I mean,
I
the
thought
Da Vinci Code have won some awards.
I thought we
right.
were ranking...
Lethal Inspection against the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, that was my joke.
No, but like the... Never mind.
anyway,
Lethal Inspection wins that one. for
Yeah,
me.
Lethal. No, Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Not Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise. He wins.
Okay, cool. Tom Cruise, we can all agree,
Yeah.
is the
I vote
greatest
for
actor
Tom
of all
Hanks.
time.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
And that is a
Send in your
absolute
mail.
yes.
Send in your hate
Don't
mail.
at me.
So
Fucking at me.
now, for the first time in a long time, I'm not going to forget this, but I also don't have
The
a solution
voice.
for you.
Yeah.
What is the voice for this episode? Also, for those of you that aren't aware,
I feel like it's a bit
I know
racist.
what we are.
the
Yeah,
Baby
it's-
Beard crew attempt very successfully to do a voice on the show better than anyone in America, professionally or otherwise, could ever hope or dream
Yeah,
to
cool.
do.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks
And-
for setting us up like that, mate.
And this
Appreciate
week,
that.
who are we doing?
The only... Well,
The
I
only
think
new
Chris and
voice.
I both,
the
like,
only
sighed
new voice
in
in
disappointment.
the episode.
Who is that?
The Mexican
Yeah.
that
the
gets
border
the stone.
guard? Oh.
No, that gets the
that's
stone
right.
thrown on him.
Ah.
Look, we have to, as actors, we have to learn to do.
Speak for yourself. I'm not an actor.
As a director, you need to know what it feels like to be
to humiliate
Racist.
myself.
humiliate
Yeah,
yourself.
great.
So you can direct others to humiliate themselves.
Aha.
Does anyone know any?
Wasn't it just like, oh, Dios mío, the
Dios mío,
stone.
Dios mío.
Has it landed in?
Has it land? Is it in the
What's-
city border?
What's the actual place?
I think yes.
I do got to say, with the Mexican
I
kind of like
think-
dialect, I do love like the emphasis on the R's. It's like the city border.
Border.
I do. I mean, that's going more Portuguese.
It
but
was
you-
a
I
little
think so,
Portuguese.
yeah.
So I would just be the city border. I do
Border.
like that the
Dios
emphasis on the
mío.
R's. Dios mío.
I like saying Dios mío, mainly because
Dios
it's
mío.
very close to
What
Italian.
does Dios mío mean?
My God.
My God. From
Dios.
the Da Vinci Code. My God. They say that so much through the episode.
My
Dios.
God.
Dios mío.
Yeah. Have you never realized that?
I just never thought
Dios
about it.
mío.
Dios mío. Yeah, Dios. It's
Look,
God.
I'm German.
Dios,
We're very
God.
selfish
God.
people,
Well,
so we don't
when
think.
you
Very
say God in
straightforward.
the machine, Deus ex machina,
Deus.
Deus God.
Dios mío máquina.
Dios
My
mío
God,
máquina.
machine.
My God, machine.
It's the Mexican version of Terminator.
So, guys, as you have been made well aware, we are gods of accents.
Oh yes.
And if you agree with us, because there's no way you disagree with us, you can let us know and affirm our talents by emailing us at babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
Sean's just digging our grave deeper and deeper.
Dig up, stupid.
While you're on your internet, why not go to Twitter at babybeardmedia?
Just at babybeardmedia.
I was going to say
babybeardmedia.
Gmail, but
That's
that's
how
not
Twitter
right.
works.
At Gmail,
Yeah.
which is babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
Yep.
We're on Facebook, Babybeard Media. We're on YouTube, Babybeard Media, and we're on Instagram.
Yeah, bitches. Baby Beard Media. It's all the same, but you can see our beautiful faces. You can see concepts for upcoming work. You can see fun little videos we do. And you can, rank us. Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, if you head up onto the podcast app or iTunes or wherever good podcasts are sold and not sold because they're free, so listen to us, you can rank us, rate us, give us a review. Honestly, it is the best way to help us ascend into the stratosphere and make ourselves better, see more people, deliver more content straight to your ears and other people's ears because, that's what we need to do. We need you. We need your help.
yeah,
We love you.
we do.
Yeah.
And,
You're our only hope.
We'll give you something sweet. I don't
Yeah.
know. My first
Or
one.
something sour.
I'll give you hugs. If you give us 5 stars and you live in South Australia, I'll give you a hug.
You can have my firstborn, guaranteed.
Its name is Gary.
Having children.
Oh, I thought you were
Oh.
pregnant. I
Tricked
thought we'd
them.
established this. It's in Canada.
No, she's just fat. I'm so glad you laughed. I was like, I hope this joke goes down well.
So guys,
Woof.
Chris has a microphone sticking out of his eye now. So we need a third person, and Chris will be back next week, so it's not too bad.
With a microphone sticking out of my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do want to join us next week, we will be doing another apparently sentimental episode that I've never seen called, look, I'll keep this episode going, called The Late Philip J. Fry.
That's a good one.
Which is
Sounds sentimental.
yeah, it's something that I believe Futurama has never addressed before, which is time travel. They've never done time travel before. It's a completely new concept.
Yeah, they've not done it before.
And-
I don't think this one does actually deal with time travel. But
Oh, I think it does.
Aren't we all
I've
just
read a bit of the plot.
Aren't we all just time traveling?
Put $5 on it.
it's been a while since I
Hey,
watched
boo
it.
boo. Hey, boo boo. I realized I was going to yogi and I
How
leaned
about
into
this sci-fi concept?
it. And so
Sci-fi
everyone-
compact. Subscribe to Babybeard Media.
And until next time, I've been Sean.
I've been Chris.
That was boo boo, by the way.
I know.
Oh, is that what Boo Boo sounds like?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think that's a good idea, Ranger Ned.
Ellen, sign off.
Well, I am Range Ellen.
Range Ellen.
Wow, fuck. Clearly I can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
no.
that's Chris over there.
Yeah, it's-
deriding me.
Fucking piece
So,
of shit that I
guys,
am.
it's been Ellen who can't do anything right, Chris who has a microphone stuck out of his eye, and
And-
Sean who insists on doing slightly racist accents.
Yeah, that's
We're a great
us.
group.
We love you.
We love you all.
Give us 5 stars.
5 stars. Bye.
I'm just wondering how many episodes it takes you to turn on your mic.
Never. I'll never do it. I had a full scat solo in high school. Aren't you jealous? We did this song called Save the Bones for Henry Jones, which is really fucked up.
It rhymes.
It's like talking about this kid who doesn't eat meat, so we're like, we'll just give him all the bones then.
Hey.
But then they also say we'll give him fish, and it's like...
Well, fish isn't meat.
Do-ba-doo-lia-doo-da, ba-doo-da, doo-da, doo-da. Ba-ba-ba-doo-lia-doo. Tonight we'll have a party. We'll eat some foods that rare. And at the head of the table, we'll put Brother Henry's chair. Invite all the local big dogs. We'll laugh and talk and eat. And we'll serve the bones to Henry Jones, 'cause Henry don't eat no meat.
Hey, Tim. No, wait.
Tim! Who's Tim?
Tim Allen.
Tim the Toolman.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
I don't know that.
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
Boom.
You guys are speaking a whole different fucking language right now.
I managed to stop myself from having scurvy, but what happened
That's
was
a good way to go.
I drank orange juice. But so what happened was I ate exclusively meagering noodles.
Right.
And I was worried about scurvy because a lot of people had told me that, students who didn't have an income and only ate noodles would get scurvy. I was like, all right, fine.
They're right.
I know how to beat scurvy. Orange juice. So I would drink orange juice. And what happened was, because I ate exclusively meagering noodles, I think I've told you this
Can
story.
I guess this? You just burnt a hole in your stomach?
No,
I was going to
close.
say, that's a lot of acid.
Close. So what happened was, the meagering noodles have an oil, and it coated the inner lining of my stomach.
No, so your poops would have been
No.
What?
Well, sort of, yes. That was a bad time. But what happened was, my stomach lining had an oil coating, and it wouldn't produce as much acid. And what was happening was I was just digesting food using orange juice acid. The citric acid from orange juice with the little bits of stomach acid that I had kind of seeping through.
Yeah.
And then it culminated when I ate too many noodles and threw up because my body wasn't secreting stomach acid anymore.
Yes. Was it just orange juice?
No, it was undigested noodles. What? So I threw up undigested food.
Oh my
Yum.
god.
Because my stomach wasn't digesting anymore.
That's like
I ceased
Zoidberg
it.
with his devil egg.
Yeah, it was real.
Same.
So I ate noodles and I threw up whole
noodles?
just whole strands of noodles.
Jesus
Duh.
Christ.
Yeah,
That's really disturbing.
it was super bad.
That's like a magic trick. It's
not.
like pulling out the colours.
It
the
was a
multicolours,
bit
just-
like that.
Just like a singular
It's
noodle.
like that woman
Yeah.
who drinks milk and
Squirts out of her
vomits.
eye.
Oh, I do know that one
That
though
woman
as well. Yeah.
Why isn't women doing stuff with milk?
There's a little milk-based art out there.
Milk-based women.